what up y'all, Mr. Cruz here, the latest teacher you never had, back with another video. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I use blocks. Now, blocks was a new feature that I think was introduced back in Reason 6, or maybe it was Reason 10. I can't remember which Reason introduced blocks, but blocks is something that kind of should help to streamline the process of creating and arranging your songs, because essentially what it does is if you have a 4-8 bar loop, and then you know that that loop is going to be the verse, all you have to do is create a block, select verse, and then bam, all the tracks and all the regions that you had previously put into that block will now be present. So that's the way that blocks are traditionally used, but I use them a lot differently because I use it just to kind of use as a marker. So I'm going to show you guys here right now the way that I use blocks. Now, as you can see in the sequencer, the way that I use blocks is different than the way that it's supposed to be used. So with the way that it's supposed to be used, I would say if this was my intro, right, what would happen is that everything that I have here would only be in my intro. So it almost makes it as if everything else was deleted. So then if I put intro over here, if I put another intro bar, another intro block, then these same regions would appear there as well. So that is helpful to some people. It's not really helpful for me, and here's why. So a lot of times when I'm creating a beat, and one of the things that I want to do is that I want to keep the sound alive, and I want unexpected parts to happen. So what that means is that sometimes in verse 1 might not be the exact same as verse 2, and the first chorus 1 might not be the same as chorus 2. So with blocks will have chorus 1 and chorus 2 look the exact same. So I don't always want that. So what I do is I just kind of use them as like markers up here at the top. So I know that this part here in the beginning is my intro. Bam, this part here is my intro, and then so on and so forth. I have my chorus, and then my verse, and then my bridge, so on and so forth. So that's how I like to do it. And again, I use it like that because that kind of came from my experience in using Logic. Logic has markers that you can use to keep track of, like, all right, this is when the chorus, this is when the bridge, this is the breakdown, and all these other things. Reason doesn't really have that, but when they introduced blocks, that's how I utilized it, because I saw that to be far more efficient than the way that it was expected to be used. And again, that's all because, like, this is, you see down here, this is where I have my tags. So you see that I have this tag kind of in the last 4 bars. Actually, this one's in the last 4 bars too. All right, let's take this one. On the chorus, the first chorus, I have my tag at the last 4 bars. And in chorus 2, I have it kind of towards in between these two. So if I were to use this same chorus under blocks mode, that means that this chorus would be somewhere over here. But again, I don't really like doing that because I like to switch things up and keep things different and change them ever so often, especially when it comes to actually recording the song. Since this is just a beat that I'm going to send off to somebody, this is a little bit different. But when it comes down to recording, this is how I'll definitely use it, is because I want to be able to keep track of everything. But anyways, that's probably a long explanation of something that's pretty simple. If you don't use blocks already, I mean, I would at least use this if you're not already using it in the way that it's intended to be used. But if not, I mean, whatever works, whatever floats your boat in helping you to create. But this is what helps me create the way that I create. Outside of that, it's your boy, Mr. Cruz. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how you use blocks, or if you have ever used blocks. Or I know a lot of you guys who are in Reason are like still on like Reason 4 and Reason 3 and stuff like that. It blows my mind. So if you're one of those people, I guess you don't have blocks yet. But let me know how you keep track of arranging your songs and keeping a knowledge of like what section you're on. All right, it's your boy, Mr. Cruz, out.